Hello friends, welcome to Pharmacology Insider by Dr. Nilay Solanki. Today we are going to discuss about mechanism-based classification, side effects and clinical uses of antimicrobial agents. Now, these antimicrobial agents were the concept of bacteriostatic and bactericidal activity that we are going to discuss. These bacteria, they have the different patterns of growth in our body, and this bacteriostatic and bactericidal activity of the antimicrobial agents, they are mentioned here as a mechanism of action. So whenever this antimicrobial drug has a bacteriostatic activity, it overall block the growth and reproduction of bacteria. While in case of bactericidal activity, they directly kill the bacteria and thereby producing the bactericidal activity. So these bacteriostatic and bactericidal drugs, they are divided in wide variety from broad spectrum to the narrow spectrum antibiotics. Now we are going to discuss about the mechanism based classification and mechanism of action of antibiotic in general. So this is the bacterial cell, where the first ever mechanism of antibiotic is on the cell wall synthesis inhibition. The second mechanism is by inhibiting the protein synthesis, where there is an important role of the ribosome and the mRNAs. The third mechanism is the drugs which are causing leakage from the cell membrane. Fourth important mechanism, that is inhibition of the nucleic acid synthesis, where it inhibits DNA gyrase enzyme, it interferes with DNA synthesis, and by inhibiting the DNA and the RNA polymerase. And the last important mechanism, that is the drugs which are interfering with the metabolism of folic acid, for example. So these drugs we are going to discuss with the examples in the classification. So this is the mechanism based classification of the antimicrobial agents. First one that we already discussed, that is bacterial cell wall synthesis and inhibition, where the examples are beta-lactam, penicillin, cephalosporins, carbapenem, vancomycin, monobactam. While in case of drug acting or causing leakage from cell membrane, that is polymyxin, colistin, bacitracin, amphotericin B, and nystatin. While the third one is inhibition of the protein synthesis, where the first one is tetracycline, chloramphenicol, erythromycin, clindamycin, macrolides, aminoglycosides, and linezolid. The fourth one, that is inhibition of the nucleic acid synthesis, where examples are inhibition of the DNA gyrase enzyme like fluoroquinolones, ciprofloxacin, and others, and inhibition of the DNA and RNA polymerase enzyme by rifampin, and interference with the DNA synthesis, that is acyclovir, while the last one is interference with the intermediary metabolism, that is by sulfonamides, sulfones, trimethoprim, pyrimethamine, metronidazole. So this is the overall mechanism based classification. Now in detail we will discuss about the classification of beta lactams along with the side effects and clinical uses. So this is the overall pharmacological profile of beta lactam, where it is divided into mainly natural penicillins and semisynthetic penicillins. So penicillin G and V are natural penicillins, while in case of the semisynthetic penicillin, where beta lactamase resistant penicillin like methicillin and flucloxacillins are there, and broad spectrum penicillins are ampicillin and amoxicillin, and there is a combination of co-amoxiclav, that is amoxicillin and clavulanic acid. Now these are the most common side effects associated with beta-lactam antibiotics. That is, skin rashes, fever are very common. Delayed type of serum sickness, serious acute anaphylactic shock. Oral penicillins in broad spectrum antibiotic. They alter the bacterial flora in gut wall, which causes the gastrointestinal disturbances and in some case with the supra-infection also. While the clinical uses of these beta-lactam antibiotics, there are many. In case of penicillin G, that is mainly useful in bacterial meningitis, skin and soft tissue infection and endocarditis. Penicillin V, that is mainly used in pharyngitis, while in case of semisynthetic penicillin, they are mainly in skin and soft tissue infections, while the broad spectrum ones, they are used in otitis media, bronchitis, pneumonia, urinary tract infection, gonorrhea, and in case of coamoxiclav, they are mainly used for the animal bites. So this is in brief about beta-lactam, general common side effects and clinical uses. Then the second one is cephalosporin category of the drugs. Cephalosporin N and C, cephalosporin P, and in semisynthetic broad spectrum cephalosporin, it is divided into three generations, where first generation drugs are cephadrine, cephalexin, cefadroxil. Second generation drugs are cefuroxime and cefaclor. Third generation drugs are cefotaximine, ceftazidime, cefixime, and ceftriaxone. The common side effects associated with these cephalosporins are hypersensitivity reactions. 10% of penicillin sensitive individuals will have allergic reactions to cephalosporins. Nephrotoxicity is very common, especially with cephradine. Diarrhea is also common. Severe stomach cramp is also there. The major clinical uses are respiratory tract infection, skin infection, urinary tract infection caused by bacteria. While first generation they are mainly used in sinusitis also. Second generation are used in septicemia, while third generation they are used in septicemia, meningitis and urinary tract infection. So this is a brief profile, side effect profile and clinical uses of cephalosporin. So with this brief we have discussed about the beta-lactam, penicillin and cephalosporin drugs. Thank you for the watching. Please like and subscribe Pharmacology Insider. Thank you all.